On to Newt Gingrich. He is having trouble again. This is about the millionth time in a row that he's gotten in trouble already in his very short presidential run so far. ABC News has looked into his charities, and remember, he's got a lot of different organizations that he's set up. He's got some for-profit groups, but he's also got some non-profit charities, and then he has his movies and his books that he sells, and he gives speeches. So he's doing all this stuff at the same time, and now he's running for president. So it all gets a little complicated, and you got to make sure that you're following the laws. So when he starts to run for president, he disassociates himself from a lot of these groups because he has to by law. He seems to have done that okay. But when you get into what he was doing before and what those so-called charities were doing, that's where we have the trouble. So he had this charity called Renewing American Leadership. Now, this is mainly to talk about religion in public life and how it has an important role. And it actually got a lot of small donors, raised a lot of money, a couple of $1 million, okay? Turns out they took $220,000 of that and sent it to one of Gingrich's for-profit entities. Now, that is incredibly convenient. So what were some of the things that they bought with that money? Well, first of all, they paid for Gingrich's spokesperson. Well, wait a minute. He's Gingrich's spokesperson for his for-profit ventures as well, for his political stuff. In fact, he was his spokesperson during the campaign until he just quit, until they all quit on Gingrich, partly because of these shenanigans. So should the charity be paying for that? Probably not. But it gets better. You know what else they paid for? They paid for a whole heap of Newt Gingrich books and DVDs. Oh, isn't that convenient? He's like, what? My nonprofit charity was very interested in my for-profit books and DVDs, so I just happened to transfer the money over there. And, you know, all those good people who cared about religion in America, they cared about it by buying my books and DVDs. So it's just a funny coincidence. And I got rich off of it. Huh, who'd have thunk? When ABC News caught up with him and asked him about this, he said, why don't you ask me about the speech I'm about to give, not this stuff? Why? He don't want to talk about that because it's shady, right? And look, this isn't just that one charity. Newt's been doing this and intermingling all this for a long time. First of all, in that charity, it's not just the money he's taken for the books and the DVDs and to fund his staff for the other projects. He also, on their website for the charity, has all these pictures of Newt and Newt's brilliant ideas, Newt's defense of Paul Ryan's Medicare plan. Wait a minute, that's totally part of his campaign. What's that doing on the nonprofit charity website? When they asked the charity that, the guy who's running it now is a pastor from San Diego because Newt had to hand it off, right? He says, oh, yeah, that's not a bad point. And boom, he takes it off, okay? Because they were doing something wrong. When they asked him about the books, because Newt says, and his handlers say, the books we didn't make any money off those, we gave it at cost. When they asked the pastor who's running the charity, he's like, yeah, that was one of my concerns. It seemed like we were paying a lot for those books. He's like, I even have books, and when our church buys it, I either break even or lose money on it. I don't know why we were paying so much for those books. Pastor, I know why you were paying so much for those books. What did you think this was all for? Now, the other thing he does is he raises money to give speeches on things that people care about, right? So-called people care. But some of them are for the for-profit entities. So, for example, he's got one on healthcare, right? Now, that one I don't mind as much. It's still unethical, but I don't mind it as much because a lot of fat cats fund that. So the rich people send him money to go give speeches on healthcare. And so what does Newt do? He takes a private jet. And he takes best hotels in the world, and he spends all that money, and he spends the money from that group that's funding, you know, his ideas, right? And also his incredible travel. So, but a problem I have is when he takes small donors. Look, it's all unethical. You shouldn't do that. You know, you should pay your own way. Or if you're going to make money off a speech, which he often does, then you should definitely pay for your airline ticket, your hotel, etc. But look, when he takes small money, like as he did with the religious non-profit, and most of it came in small donors. Those people, look, they're earnest. And again, I might not agree with their politics, but they really believe that Newt was going to stand up for their cause, that he was going to do the right thing, and that he was going to promote religion in America. And instead, they take their money and they funnel it to Newt's back pocket by buying his books and his DVDs and funding his staff and basically promoting and marketing his political campaign. Come on, man. There's something at least a little sick about that. And you know, this isn't the only time that they've run a scam like this, not Newt Gingrich, although Newt Gingrich got fined $300,000 back in the day when he was Speaker of the House for running a similar shell game with a nonprofit charity that was actually promoting his politics, right? So he's done this trick before. But you remember Sarah Palin. Her nonprofit bought $63,000 worth of Sarah Palin books. Look, they're doing this to rip you off. Look, maybe I shouldn't help out the conservative voters, but I'm telling you, they don't have your best interest in mind. They have their best interest in mind. And they're just sucking that money out of your pocket, and it probably hurt you to donate, you know? Those guys, a lot of those donors are not rich, and they had to make a decision. Hey, do I eat out this week, or do I give to Newt Gingrich's important cause about religion, or Sarah Palin, you know, and the Mama Grizzlies, etc.? And come to find out, they just pocketed it. Don't be a sucker, man. Look, there's a lot of people who do, you know, who fight for conservative causes without ripping you off. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they exist. But we do know who does rip you off: Newt Gingrich and Sarah Palin.